A Congressional Research Service report for Congress, published by Ruth Ellen Watson in 1962, states that thousands of Cubans migrated to Miami. Because of the migration, Cubans brought their culture with them. They brought their cigars, they brought their clothes, they brought their music, but most importantly, they brought their cuisine. I'm specifically talking about the Cubano. So, the reason I'm doing my informative speech on Cubanos is because I had recently made some, and I made about 12 of them by myself, and I finished them by myself, and they were really good in my opinion. So, I made some more, and I had asked my grandpa, who is Cuban, to come over and try some for himself to see if they were really good. And he cleaned the plate. He said they were delicious, and I was happy that they came out to his liking. So ever since then, I've been trying to improve and make more Cubano sandwiches. So I would like to share this information with you. First, I will talk about making of the special sauce. Then I will talk about the preparation of the bread and the pulled pork. And finally, I will talk to you about the assembly of the goodness, the sandwich itself. So first, the special sauce. The special sauce, you will need mayo and mustard. For everything, 3 Guys in Miami Cook Cuban Food states that we will need Cuban bread, butter, sliced dill pickles, a pound of pulled pork, a pound of sliced good quality ham, half a pound of sliced Swiss cheese, yellow mustard, and mayo. So the yellow mustard and the mayo is for the special sauce. So we need 4 tablespoons of mayonnaise, 3 tablespoons of mustard, and 1 tablespoon of cayenne pepper. The cayenne pepper is optional, and so is the sauce itself. You don't really have to put it inside the sandwich. 3 Guys in Miami Cook Cuban Food state that you don't need the special sauce because the pulled pork already releases a lot of juices and it soaks into the bread. So you don't need anything wet. So the toasting of the bread, we get our Cuban bread, and we leave a pan heating. Then we get our bread, we slice it horizontal-wise down the middle. On the inside, we get our butter and we spread it evenly. Once we find out that the pan is perfect temperature, medium heat, we get the bread and we put it inside and we leave it toasting for a few minutes or until it turns golden brown, because that's perfect. Once we're done with that, we set the bread aside and we move on to cooking of the pulled pork. The pulled pork, we use the same pan because it already has some butter inside of it, or at least it should. If it doesn't, just get another thin slice of butter and let it soak inside. Along with the butter, we also get a few garlic cloves. We cut them and we mince them and we put them inside. Or you don't have to mince them, you could just leave them whole until they're soft and you squish them down. So that way the juices leak out and then they get soaked into the pulled pork when you add it. Once we do that, we mix it around for a few minutes until all the juices come out. The pulled pork shouldn't be dry, because if it's dry, it's disgusting. Once we finish with that, we get the pulled pork and we set it aside, but make sure you have to keep it warm. So the assembly of everything, of the sandwich, we use the same pan that we use for the pulled pork, so that way the flavors get soaked into the bread. Then we get our bread. We add spread on the inside of both loaves. We get the Swiss cheese inside first. Then we get the pulled pork, so that way it melts the cheese and keeps it still. Then we get our ham. Then we get our pickles. And then finally, we top it off with the other bread half. Once we do that, we get the whole sandwich itself and we put it inside of the pan. We get another pan and we flatten it. The sandwich has to be flat because that's how a Cubano looks like. It has to be flat. Once we do that, we leave the sandwich inside until golden brown. Once it turns golden brown, we flip it to the other side and we leave it in there until golden brown, because golden brown is always the best. And the sandwich is complete and you're ready to eat, you know. Now all that's left to do is eat and savor the sandwich. Thank you.